Welcome to Generation Podcast. It's Luther Danger here in the Danger Dojo, but I'm flying solo in the dojo. Andy's here virtually.
Virtual Andy is amazing. He's coming in hot and he's presenting the latest and greatest in New Testament podcast episodes. Welcome to the New Testament Rundown. Where do we stand in God's new America? We'll find out. Where do we stand in the world? Well, I'm not going to tell you because I don't know shit. So let's bring in our expert, Luther Danger.
Oh
Deadline
boy.
news.
Hey, are we okay, America? Are you okay? You out there in the void, in the unknown, the deep the deep places, the dark places. Are you doing okay?
You
I
mean
mean,
our
I think
scores of voters that are also listeners in the
I
very
know,
dark?
right? Yeah, that are totally aren't in Jakarta. Well, I figure degenerates in the title of this podcast. I have an idea about how people may have voted, but I also know that there's other people who may have voted another way. And,
Right,
it's going to be
right.
okay, I think. I think
Yeah, maybe
probably
not.
it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. The,
Yeah.
the the best isn't going to happen. The worst isn't going to happen.
We are the epitome
It's
of best,
fine.
not best, not the worst. We
Not the
straddle
best,
the
not the
line.
worst. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Take
Yeah.
a deep
Oh yeah.
breath. Weeks will go by, years will go by, and it'll be fine. We'll
The
make it.
anger will rise, the anger will subside, the anger will turn to rot in your guts. Your health will decline, but you'll feel suddenly that's not so bad.
It's
I
not so
like
bad.
sitting on the couch. I like
You're
listening to
you're gonna
Washington.
you're gonna get through it. It's gonna
Then you're
be
gonna
okay.
die. You're gonna get through it, and then you're
Hey,
gonna.
the good news is, and I actually said this on a work meeting recently. I said, "Hey, don't worry. The good news is death comes to collect all of us."
Mhm. It's the undefeated tax man.
Yeah, yeah,
It survives all tax cuts, tax raises,
yeah. It'll be
tax
fine. It'll be
forgetting
fine.
to pays,
It'll be
forgetting.
fine, and then we'll die. It'll be terrible, and then we'll die. It's okay.
Yeah. It'll
Sweet,
probably be
the
when it
sweet
finally
release of death.
when the balance finally tips one way or the other, and you're like, oh yeah, or oh no, that's when you die. 100%. 100% of the time. Or not. Maybe you don't die.
Or not. I don't know.
Maybe there's AI that perpetuates
We live
your
forever.
stringent morals and to perpetuate why you get mad at people and look down at people and then you just are the last one alive with no one to look down on but yourself
Sure.
in virtual form.
Hey,
It's great.
this podcast, like other forms of art, may live on, beyond us. I hope
We're going to
not.
be in
God,
the
I hope no
public
one sees
domain
this.
at some point and you're going to be the host. You're going to be your
It's gonna
AI
be me.
sourced host
Oh God, I
inside of you is going to put more garbage out into the airways for robots to listen to until they go into the pod to end their robot life. And that's fine too, because we're
is that
playing
like the
there
pod,
too.
like the Matrix pod, full of the pink goo?
No, like the one in what country was that? Switzerland? And then the guy's in trouble. The engineer or overseer is like in trouble. There was a legitimate pod where you just go to sleep forever,
Oh,
basically.
oh,
You
okay.
should have called it the Sleeping Beauty No Prince pod. That would be amazing. Um, but basically, like that's gonna happen, except we're gonna be the number one New Testament podcast
Number one.
playing in future AI robot designed robot intended for suicide bots.
Speaking
We're
of
playing, we're live.
Sleeping
It's the
Beauty,
only thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna derail us already. Sleeping
Yes.
Beauty is my favorite Disney princess, and someone pointed out that it's like, oh, that's because you're a man and she doesn't say anything, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah, that's great. She
yeah,
dances,
so, yeah, so. No,
and she can help
there's a
her murder
sword and a
sister
shield,
queens
there's a
or whatever.
dragon,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
someone else does all the things for her, and she goes to sleep. She wakes
Yeah.
up kissed. She wakes up kissed in love. That's what everyone
Well, it teaches
everyone wants that.
a pretty cool lesson. So, like,
What's
well, no,
that?
it's a terrible lesson. It's a terrible
I
lesson, but
know.
it sets up a pretty cool situation for the man. It's like you're
Exactly.
hanging out with your horse, you're having a great time, and then you
Doing
just
horse stuff.
doing horse stuff. He seems like a cool horse. You got a great relationship. You're
They
out in the
don't, it's not
woods.
sexual. Sometimes it's sexual. Go
Yeah,
ahead. Continue.
yeah, yeah. You're having a ride in the forest, and then you hear a voice, and then all of a sudden you're just like, some broad, I'll dance with her. And all of her
Yes.
little magical woodland creature friends are helping, and then you're like, hey, let's meet up later. And then hijinks ensue. You get a magical sword and shield. You
Magical.
fight a dragon, and then
Well, it used to be a woman. So
sure,
watch out. for those women,
yeah,
and
you
it's
chop some
practice.
thorns, and then she's there sleeping, and then you kiss her, and she's like, "All right, I'll marry you." That's it.
Exactly.
It's
You kiss her to wake her up.
yeah,
So it's a little creepy, but it's not full creepy because she does
yeah.
wake up.
But
She is.
the little fairies told you to do it.
It's
It's
fine.
like she
Exactly.
didn't consent, but like
It's
her
like
fairy
still less
friends
creepy
did.
than that movie Passengers, if you've ever seen that.
I haven't seen Passengers.
Not good. Not worth referencing. It's not worth taking us down
It's no
that
Willow. It's not
thing.
Willow. We can reference
No
Willow
Willow.
again.
It's no
No.
Willow. Because Willow's
He-
great and Passengers is mid at best. Really weird, really strange, really creepy. Could have been better. Good idea, not executed well. Perfect movie.
You
Perfect. Go
know,
see it.
I have something related that I wanted to talk about anyways. That this is
Yes.
a good enough segue as we're gonna find.
All of them are fine. They're not the
I
best. They're not the
I
worst.
I watch just I try to watch movies that I haven't watched before, or like that, like, oh, I remember this is an interesting movie, and
Like
sometimes they're great.
Hidalgo. But you've seen Hidalgo. My bad.
I've seen it, yeah. Sometimes it's a classic like Lawrence of Arabia. Sometimes
Was
it's
it
like,
Look Who's
oh,
Talking too?
no, it was A River Wild with Meryl Streep. It's a good
Oh,
flick.
yeah.
Young Meryl Streep.
Kevin
I'm like,
Bacon.
yeah. I'm like, oh, young Meryl Streep's kind of cute. I kind of dig her.
She's hot,
She's a
man. What are you
river
talking about?
former river guy. Anyway, no, she's solid. She looks good in that movie. But
She's busty in that.
I had a sex dream about her. This
As the
is
River Wild character or as
yeah, it was basically
out of
I
Africa?
think it was no, it was Meryl Streep. It was, she's
Specifically River
Snake
Wild.
River Guide. We
She was the river guy.
she was a former river guide, and then in the movie she's going down. It wasn't
Like our friend that
specifically.
lives in Seattle now and is like doing really well.
I don't think he's a river guide anymore. I think he's
No,
married, but he's doing other stuff.
married and he's like an executive of some sort now.
Sure. Anyway,
And Meryl Streep, yeah, she did well
back
after being a river
back
guy too. Yeah.
back to
Go ahead.
boning Meryl Streep. Um,
Hmm.
so obviously I knew it was a dream because my parts were working, and boy were they working. I'll spare the graphic,
No, B, do
content.
not spare graphic details for places that listen to us that can't hear graphic details or describe graphic details, write graphic
It
details,
was
live out
listen,
graphic details.
it
Do
was
it.
it was it was great. It was mutually satisfying, which is how I knew it was a dream.
Was there
Um,
butt stuff?
no,
Butt
no, no.
play? Meryl Streep butt
It
play?
was a. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Have you no longer drink? Do you ever have drinking dreams?
Oh yeah.
All
Oh,
right. So
there was
this
like I
was the
broke the streak drink
yeah.
dreams. I was is this are you talking about you drank and had River Guy dirt play?
No, no, but it was so this is some real stuff now. I'm gonna transition slightly away from humor. It's still funny. But it was a
You drank?
no, it was the same drinking
Hilarious.
drink. It was the same drinking dream feeling where you're like, you realize in the dream you're like, oh shit, I'm drinking. It's like, well, I
Hmm.
guess I'm already drinking now. I might
That.
as well keep going.
Hmm.
And then eventually, you're like, oh, you start to have guilt and remorse and feel
In the dream.
bad. And then in the dream, and it's like you can't even fucking enjoy it in the dream. And
No.
but then eventually you wake up and you're like, oh, thank God. Well, this is kind of the same thing. I was boning this lady, basically Meryl
Okay.
Streep, for the River Guide, and it was passionate sex all night, as is you and a River Guide Meryl Streep would, and again
Was
in
it
the
on a
morning,
raft?
on the kitchen
Was it
table.
like a raft? Were you fuck Finn?
No, and then she left, and then there I was coming to, and I'm like, wait, this is not my beautiful wife. This is not my
Yeah.
beautiful house.
Meryl
And
Streep is not. She left me. She
she
that.
left.
Oh!
She like left and I went to work, and then reality sunk in. I'm like, I guess I'm working from home from this kitchen table we just had sex on, and I'm like, this is not my house, and woke up. I woke up and like,
Drained.
oh my
Motivated.
God, I woke up and there was like the dread, and then I looked over and I realized like, oh God, it was just a dream.
She doesn't know that you dirt bagged young Meryl Streep.
Who, May Rageclaw sleeping next to
Yeah,
me? No,
yeah,
she didn't. But I hugged her
yeah. It's
close, and I
awesome.
realized, all right, I got away with it.
Exactly. It's just
It was
like
weird.
it's like another kill switch engaged, and I got
Uh,
away with it. Woke up. I still got up my loads for today, so it was a false flag. It's fine. See, not only did you get to bang Meryl Streep in your dream in a dirt way,
it
but
wasn't a
river
dirt
way.
way. It was passionate.
Yeah, passionate dirt river.
It wasn't in the river. It was in a house.
Knees on reeds, just
Sure.
in
All
a
right.
house.
It was in the slop. Fine. It was in the
It's in the
slop.
slop. You're deep in her slop,
Fine.
in the
Oh
slop.
God. Oh, come
And
on.
then the best part about it is you like a ghost come in the dream, and it's passionate, and you wake up and you didn't blow your loads. It's perfect. You didn't have a wet dream. You didn't wake up with sticking your sheets that have to be washed in your real life. That's amazing. Oh my God, that's great.
It's pretty. Yeah. It was all right. So I
Hmm.
I have another. I,
You're the devil and you wear Prada, baby.
oh my gosh. I went to. I got other big stuff. I
Oh,
that
this is
was
great.
that.
We're
Yeah.
gonna go hard and then we're gonna go sad, and I'm the sad part. It's gonna be great.
Well, I can do sad or hard. I got one of each coming up next, and
Let's
I'm
start
not letting
hard.
you pick. I'm not letting you pick.
Okay, I don't.
I
You're
had a
not
high.
involved.
Yeah, you're not involved.
Sad.
This is. I'm gonna go. I got about 10 minutes here of material. All right. I want you to
Okay.
interject, but know that I got about 10 minutes material.
Okay, I'll ask questions.
I went to a high school reunion the past 2 days.
Perfect.
20 year high
2 days?
school. Yeah, it was a multi-event, multi-day. It was like
Oh, dude.
a happy hour one night and another thing and a football game.
Oh,
It was a whole thing. We did the whole
oh,
damn
a
thing.
high school football game?
Yeah, it was
Oh.
cool. Honestly, I had a great time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Predominantly had
Obviously.
a great time. But you run into the people that you didn't really know well, and you have these conversations. And
Separation of gain and loss conversations. I got you. I
well,
got
it
you.
was just like, hey, guy, I kind of smoked weed with occasionally. Like, hey, we knew each other because we had the same drug dealer, right? And that was really
It's
my
dead.
only interaction.
It
No,
is
he's alive.
dead.
He's alive. He's alive. Not that one. This other one.
Batman wasn't your
You
drug
look, I
dealer?
didn't just have one guy, all right? I wasn't loyal to one guy. It was whoever had what I needed at the time. It was fine.
Yeah, you were
Um,
a free market
yeah.
consumer.
Speaking of drugs, minor segue here. There was one of the evenings, there was one guy at the end. He's like, so, you want to go do drugs? That was it. I was like,
Wait,
no, man, I don't do that.
kind not
But
kind of.
I was like, hey, but if I were, it would be with you.
Did you say that?
I did. He's like, oh, I'm touched. And I was like, yeah. Another friend did
Uh,
go to do drugs with him, and he just talked about funnel cakes for 45 minutes, and
Wait,
it was fine.
your friend went to do drugs with him?
Yeah. And then he texted about it, and he's like, "Oh man, he was going off about the pyramids are an ancient battery, and the earthquakes changed the Earth off the axis, and yeah, that's what happens when you do cocaine in the middle of the night. You talk
Oh,
about
it was
weird shit.
Coke. Yeah, that was gonna be my guess,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's
I
always
thought it
gonna
was
be
like
coke.
it's always gonna
Um,
be Coke
yeah,
Union.
it's coke.
Sure.
Anyway,
No one does anything else.
I talked to the one guy who, again, we shared the same drug dealer, and that was kind of
Of course.
our only
Is he
shared
dead?
history.
You had don't there long
He's doing fine. His
periods?
bro, yeah, there was something else. I'll tell you off mic
Okay,
about it
off
because
mic. Off
it's
mic.
so specific that it could only be that, and I don't want to, and
Okay.
it's so dark. It's so dark, and
Perfect.
I want to spare the listener. Anyway,
Spare the Indonesian listener of a
this is
high school
only
reunion.
this is only mildly dark. But I was,
Okay.
bullshit. You're making small talk. It's a happy hour
There's no
thing.
big talk there. There
No,
can't
I mean,
be.
there's some big talk, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, I asked the guy like, "Hey, it's been 20 years. I don't know. What's the past 2 decades been like for you?"
Yeah.
I figured there'd be some highlights. I don't know. Hey, I went to
Or
Europe once.
lowlights.
Or lowlights. Just fucking anything. But this is what he said. He's like, "I got real into music." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Like playing music?" He's like, "Yeah, a little bit. I got really into the band Tool." And I was like, "Oh,
I
all
know
right."
you don't have to say the band Tool. I
Yeah,
know
I got
what.
really well. I think he just said I got really into Tool, and I was like, "Oh, right on, okay."
Cool,
He's like,
man.
"Yeah, like I was 24, and and hold
It's
on,
like,
hold on." He's like, "I was 24, and I did shrooms, and like rode a mountain bike, and listened to Tool because I'd heard like you should do shrooms and listen to Tool." And I was like, "Oh,
what
okay."
a mountain bike.
And I'm like, "Oh, so do you like mountain bike too?" He's like, "No, it was just that one time." I was like, "Oh."
What time?
Oh,
My Tool virginity.
hold on. And I was like, well, man, I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more. I'm like, I mean, Tool's good. He's like, oh, Tool's the best, man. And
Well, was the best.
he just starts
It
talking
was.
about Tool, and I was like, well, it sounds like that mountain biking experience was a major schism for you. That's a Tool song, and you didn't get it
I
either.
know.
It
You
kind
didn't
of
get
went
it.
over his head. It was fine. But then I'm
You
like,
know.
all right, and it was just he just talked about Tool and not in that much depth. Because I was like, oh, I mean, like I'm not a huge Tool fan, but I know like
But
the
you know about
drummer.
them. They're essentially like math metal, math
Yeah,
rock.
exactly. Like Danny Carey's an insane drummer. They're playing in weird like
Mhm.
15/7 time signature, and
Well,
I don't
there's
really
no fraction
understand
and
it.
fraction and
It's so
slog and
wacky,
like
but he's
darkness.
like I don't know about that. I just really like Tool. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And we went on for a couple more minutes and it was just Tool. And he's like, "Did you hear their latest album? It took them like 13 years to make it. It was great." And I was like, I again, I'm not a huge Tool guy, but
You're like,
also
sounds like it took you 13 years to do a goddamn anything.
but but I was telling people, I'm like, can you imagine summarizing 2 decades of your life, half of your life, and the best thing that you could come up with was like, I got really into Tool.
Oh, no, I can because maybe not quite because he had a kid, but like our mutual friend, and you could talk about Bears scores in 2005, and
Yeah,
it's
but
like
he wouldn't
he's
summarize
intelligent.
2 years of his life with Tool. Anyway, the
I think he
next day,
would. I think he would with Bears. I think he would without the kid part. I think he
fine,
really would. I
fine.
really honestly think he would.
He was at the event the following day, and he had a Tool shirt on.
No way.
Yes, it was
Double down.
pretty.
The tool double down at a reunion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I was like, I was telling my other friends who weren't there the first night, like, just talk to him. Don't mention Tool, but see if he brings it up. Because this is like, they didn't think it was that significant or odd.
And
And
they're
it's
like,
been
"Wow, you're boring."
driving.
It's
It was,
you're like they're thinking you're the boring one. And you're like, no, 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 he's gonna talk about Tool. He won't even mention a perfect circle. He won't even mention his side project. He
yeah,
doesn't know his name is Maynard Keys or whatever. He doesn't
it's honestly, it's still living in,
name
it's
something right.
going again and again in my head. Like, I got really into Tool. It's so crazy to me. I don't know.
You can't get him off his first read,
Also,
man.
also, he the football game the following day when he showed up in the Tool shirt, he had a kid with him. I don't know if it's his kid, if it, he has a wife.
No
He
way.
didn't even mention the kid. He just mentioned Tool. It's insane. It's insane.
You
It
think
makes
he
me
had
so.
a
I'm elated thinking about it. I'm still like
you
so
think he had a
happy.
Tool baby? Like he just was
I
like
don't know.
listening to Tool and things happen, and he has a kid that's
I,
9,
it's
doesn't
God. I don't know.
mention it,
Also,
start to mention it.
to mention the riding the mountain bikes and then being like, oh, so you like mountain bike? No, no, just that one, just that one
No,
time.
I didn't really like it, but it made me feel weird.
Oh gosh.
Actually, you want to talk about Tool, and
Oh,
you're like, what if happens if I even bring up a perfect circle? What's he gonna do? What if he'll blow his mind? He's like, wait, there he's got another band, huh? And then he spends the next 20 years listening to Perfect Circle.
it could be.
It's like they really were close to perfect. It
And
was
I
like
thought,
Jesus, man. Not even like what the fuck. That's not
for
a socializing band. First off, it's not.
no,
You listen in the darkness and you just crank it up, and they're singing about heroin and
I don't know. I mean, I like Tool. I don't, I'm not, I
but
get it.
in like weird time progression
Yeah, but
music. It's like
it's
dark
like,
prog, reverse prog. I don't know what you
yeah.
call
I
it.
mean, it's kind of like,
Math
it's like
metal.
harder Rush. Like, they're kind of ethereal. Anyway, I
If
don't want to
Rush
talk.
just dropped
Listen,
like shrooms and like, oh my God, dude, this is great. No,
I
you want to talk about the
I
pathetic
already
life that
talked about Tool enough. Okay,
no,
I'm
you
set.
like I want to know how bad of a child you have to be, or how bad you're. What a good little bad boy, or to be edited out of a reunion conversation after 20 fucking years. Like, how shitty is this kid? What's wrong with the kid?
Oh, his child or allegedly? I don't know.
Or
I don't
whatever
know.
kid. I mean,
It
like
was a
you
kid. I
show
don't
up with
know.
the next day. I mean, could have been a custody battle. Could have been like this is a step kid that he's not
I don't
married to,
know.
so it's just a kid that he looks after for free babysitting. But he kind of is
Anything.
gonna be sad when they break up with him because all he talks about is Tool. Like what? Like he's gonna be like, yeah, man, it's another kid I miss. You know what I mean? I miss being a kid. And I've had
Yes.
like she's got a graveyard of like relationships, and they all had kids, and they all left him because all he had was Tool. He had nothing. He is a tool. He's got nothing, and it's just another kid. He could have had a starting five of a Optimist baseball or basketball, like an AAU team by this point
We're
of
gonna bring
kids
it back
that
to
just
sports. That's the only thing I can
no,
relate to is sports.
no,
I'm
this
gonna talk
guy,
about
like
basketball
no, but
again.
like imagine he's got like
Why don't I
he's got
start? Why don't I badmouth women again?
serious bodies in his past,
I
Do you
don't
think
know.
he has as many kids that he's just like forgot about, like that
I
were like
don't.
in his life?
No, I do not
As
think so.
many as there are been Tool albums, which apparently isn't that many though, because they took 13 years for an album, and
Allegedly,
he
I don't
took.
know. I'm taking this just off of this guy's word. I didn't look
Yeah,
up
you're
their
right.
discology.
He's not a Tool
He's not
discography
reliable.
guy. He's
Yeah.
an unreliable narrator. Maybe he's in the CIA.
And so this was the most fascinating thing that for me, and I thought was going to be really the pathetic highlight until until late last night, and
Uh-oh.
uh and my mind was blown, my friend. And really, it like very uncomfortable too.
Now you're speaking my language. I like uncomfortable
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, buckle in. So,
Buckle up, baby.
so again, this was a Friday night, Saturday night thing. Friday night, there was, I don't know, 40 people. Saturday night, there was, I don't know, 75, 100 people. And one of the
That's
people that
so
was there,
many
that was
people.
a lot. That was a lot. For like, I mean, there
But
was a
your
class
class
of
was
like 500. We
between
got,
450 and 550 probably is
yeah,
mine.
yeah,
Mine was
yeah,
503, 504.
yeah, yeah. And we got like 9 or 10, no longer.
You got more deads than we did. I think we
Yeah,
got
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. We had a lot of
I don't
drugs, a lot of sad stuff
yeah.
out there. Anyway, that's
Yeah.
not what I'm going to talk about. So I ran into a
Oh,
person, a person that I knew. We were, friends, and friends with benefits, we'll say. Anyway, it was fine. I've
okay.
seen her before a couple times, and it was fine. May Rage Claw was obviously there.
Oh,
We went to high school together, and at some point they were
you talking
talking.
about I know what you're talking about. You
Yeah, yeah,
talking about Office Park.
yeah, yeah. And we don't need to, again.
Let's
We don't.
go.
We can spare the details, but they are going to
Oh
come
yeah.
up. They are going to come up later in a weird way. So just wait.
Ooh.
They
Ooh.
were talking at some point because again we all went to high school together, and I kind of in my mind jokingly was like, I bet they're talking about my penis because there's not that many people who've seen it. All right, it's a small list. That
Yeah, it's small.
66% were in that room. All right, there's just one who
It's a
was
good
missing.
sized penis, but it's a small list. Is what you're saying.
Well, I'll get to that momentarily.
And I got your inverse. It's like fine, but it's
Hold,
a decent list.
brother, buckle in.
Yeah.
All right, so
Okay. Okay. Okay.
there was the following day, Saturday. There was I met this person's partner. I'd heard on Friday that she's divorced and has two kids, blah 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 blah, and she's doing great. I'm like, okay, awesome. Um,
Wait.
I met the partner. I met the partner the following night, and shook his hand. And we talked, and we were to the four of us were talking. I had inadvertently ran into her dad outside of the football game, and he ended up taking a picture of me and my family, right? Because we were like trying to take a selfie. At any rate, he took a picture. He went home and was talking to this person, this girl and her partner, and he's like, "Oh, I took a picture of like the most beautiful couple. What a good-looking couple, great couple, good-looking couple." Reiterated again and again and again. And she brought it, and I was like, "Hey, actually." He said his daughter graduated that year, and I was like, I think, yeah, I actually went to your house for dinner. And as he left, and I was like, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have been like, because now he's thinking, did you fuck my daughter?
I've
Maybe.
been inside your daughter
I
casually
yeah, yeah. And yeah, while I'm with
years
my
ago. I
wife,
sent
while
her
I'm
on
with my wife and children, I
teetering
said it.
towards a disappointment. I sent her off into orbit.
What listen, the so later.
Okay.
So we talked, I met this guy, right? And we bullshitted for a minute, and then the night went on. It was fine. And then at some point I found myself alone.
Uh-oh.
My friends and my wife have gone out separately, and I was kind of just standing.
Sober reunion solitude is not the vibe to go there. Anything could happen. Anything.
Yeah. And so uh this guy comes up and he's like, "Hey, I gotta say something now. It's gonna really embarrass this other person, but I gotta tell you." I was like, "Okay." And I'm like, I'm thinking he needs to get, I don't know. Maybe there's something he's working through
He's like,
something.
I gotta get out of this thing.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of this thing. Yeah.
Move back from the mic. You're all blotchy. There you go.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Like my face?
No, no, not your face is always blotchy and hideous. I don't know. The audio is
Okay.
all funky. It
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
matter. Nobody
All right.
cares. It doesn't
No,
matter.
nobody cares.
I'm getting to the
They
crux
can't
of the
see it.
story. All right, I'm getting to
They're
the
not
good
hearing
part,
it. They don't
and
love us. I don't
I
love
don't want to
us.
know
Go ahead.
jumbled.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So I'm like, all right, what's this guy got to? Maybe there's something going on. I don't know. maybe she said some things. Maybe there's something in her head or heart that is now affecting this guy, and he needs to share. All right, cool.
Mhm, mhm.
He's like, hey, I want to tell you, I know, uh, she's got a nickname for you. I was like, oh, all right. He's like, and I got to tell you about it. I was like, all right. I mean, do you?
Okay.
I was like, I don't know. I'm like, chest is starting to. I'm like, are we gonna
Yeah.
fight? What's gonna happen here?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's it's DDD. I was like, all right, cool.
Donkey dick?
How'd you know? Yes, donkey dick danger.
Danger. Donkey dick danger. Oh my God.
I was like, what? And yeah, and then he's like, yeah, she we were at a party and someone that was asked like, oh, if you could go back in time and fuck someone from your past, who would it be? And it was you. So like I now I got to see you and I get it, and that's great. And anyways, you're
Do you want an
DDD.
autograph?
But then I was like, oh, all right. But then he's like, but it's just cool, man. I'm like, it's cool with me. I'm an open guy. I just say what's on my mind, like it's cool. None of
Yeah,
this
you're
bothers
ready to
me.
be a stepdad. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well,
This is what
and
they're left with, dude. This is what they're left with. It's
yeah,
great. I love this for you. I really love this for you.
well, it keeps going. He's like, like I was like, this 20-year reunion thing's weird. I didn't go to school with y'all, but it was like, it's weird to see. Like, I can't wait to go back to mine because like I was short and fat, and now I'm like, oh, now I'm tall and big. And he's like, and it was like inner city DC, and like before that was inner city Philly, and it was like, and he's like, you have to fight every day, and I was like, oh, shit. And like this whole time, he's like dabbing me up, and like we're hugging and like fist bumps, and there's like, he's like, but it's like much love, man. He's just going on and on and on.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is happening
What's
right now?
wrong with this
But I'm
dude?
like, it was a pleasant conversation. And then he's like, but I mean,
Until you like. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Oh
but
my God.
he's like, well, we're Eskimo bros, right? And I was like, shit.
I have one of those. You're like, of
Yeah. I never had one. I didn't know I had one.
course you have.
Not really. I mean, yeah, I know I have them, but I never like
No, the other
interacted
two
with
people
one.
that you're talking about probably
Yeah,
hypothetically had
yeah,
intercourse at some point with a
yeah,
man.
sure, absolutely, 100%.
But you
Everyone's got
didn't
a,
need
everyone's got
a
a,
live reunion Eskimo brother.
everyone's got a past. Everyone's got a future. It's
And he's
fine. It
not the
doesn't
guy
bother me.
that went to school with you. She'd
Yeah,
outsource her Eskimo brother for her reunion to show up. Show up. Divorce. I gotta show up.
it was so weird. And then finally we separated. Thankfully, one of my friends came and intervened, and I left. And then an hour or two
Yeah.
later, or whatever, we were all
Does he go
fixing
by
to
his
leave.
initials? I feel like he
This
goes
guy?
by his initials. Yeah.
No, he doesn't. No,
Oh,
he's got
okay. Close.
one
Yeah, exactly.
monosyllable
Real
first
short.
name though.
Real
Yeah,
short.
yeah,
Real
yeah.
short. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
Anyways, we're leaving hours later, and I was making rounds to say bye to people, and I saw her, and she's like, "Hey, I just wanted to explain." I'm like, no, 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 it's cool. Please
No,
don't.
we're good.
Yeah,
We're good.
yeah. She's like, it's DDD. I'm like, it's really no, we're good. Hey, it could have been disappointing. You chose Donkey. Totally acceptable. Let's move on.
Don't care. Never
Let's
thought about you until you showed your face. Don't think about you ever. Now I will. So you win. Or do I win?
but she's like, well, I just wanted to say, like we're swingers. Your face is perfect. That's yes, the mind blow. Yeah, she's like, we're
He was
swingers, and
petting you.
we were at a party. I was like, no, 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 no. And I was
We're
doing the thing where
swingers.
I was signaling for Megan, like we'll tug on an ear, or like you mess with your
Yeah,
hair
like the
to let her,
Garden State. Yeah.
you let them know that it's time to go. And Megan, and May Rachel saw me from afar, and she saw me tugging my ear, and she didn't. She's like, I didn't know it was serious. I'm like, I'm fucking yanking on my ear. It is time to go. You have no idea what's
Okay, can I have
happening.
a question?
Yes,
May I
please,
interject with a
please.
question? Okay, so in my mind, I want to know where do you and I differ on not necessarily what you said or what path you chose at that point, because I'm sure you went for like awkward tolerance, but in my mind, I probably would do that too. But my first reaction would be like, I don't, I've never thought about you. And quite frankly, I'd like to hear less of this. Or like,
Going forward, I'd like to
whatever.
hear less of it.
Yeah,
Uh,
like, in moving forward, but by all means, continue to make your kids' lives living hell. Go ahead. I
well,
don't care. I don't think about you.
yeah,
And I won't. Another 20 years will pass and I won't think about you.
there's a
Like,
dash of that. There's a
yeah,
dash of that, but also again, she's on a very short list of people that exist, right? Again, who've seen my penis, which
yeah.
is weird, and
My
you don't
longer
really.
list doesn't, I don't think about them. I don't think
Right,
about
right,
them
right.
at all.
Sure. Yeah. Everything
Couple I
is
do.
20. Everything's 20 years old. But
Yeah.
it's hey, it's nice to be remembered favorably. There was there was a couple of thoughts that went through my mind. All right, I'm gonna be full transparency.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
The first was this is really weird. Right. Second was hindsight's 2020. Or right, where you paint a rosy image of things. The third was I didn't expect to have a large black man praising my penis. Right. I didn't expect that. That wasn't on my bingo card for the
Well,
night.
he praised it. He praised it for on
Well, listen,
secondhand
he
seems praise.
he
You
is
saw
also
it?
he is also a swinger, right? So you don't know what the deal is. You got to keep that in mind. I
Well,
didn't have
I
that
presumed he
information
was
later, but
also a
now,
swinger.
well, yeah,
They
you
said you're
swing. They swing
swingers.
together. They are swingers. Um, the
Think of the
the other
children.
the other thing, and here's where my ego plays a part. Where
Okay.
where there was a moment where I'm like, and again, not in the realm of possibility, not in reality I would ever want to pursue, but I'm also like, but I'm so much better now, right? I'm good at it now. I'm better at. I can do it good
You
now.
you unlocked this primrose path of penis and
Yeah,
broken relationships and just it's
yeah.
awesome. It's great.
Is it? It's not
There's
awesome,
so many of all
thankfully,
the
but
ways you can ruin somebody. That's the prettiest and most. Maybe
yeah,
it didn't ruin. This is what they wanted. They wanted their kids to be an afterthought for their open sexuality in their late 30s. Okay, that's what they wanted. You unlock this. You set her on the path to neglecting your children so that you can have sex in weird places and hotels and various things that cater to this movement. And it is a movement. We're swinging. We're swinging into a new administration, a new world. There's all sorts of possibilities for this couple because of your donkey dick. Your 2003 donkey dick.
yeah, yeah. Which obviously, again, to restate, it doesn't function anymore because of
No, it's broken,
its
but it had
addled.
its it
Yeah,
had its path.
it was
It was
nice to reflect
purpose.
on its heyday. That's all. To remember a time
You
where it
you
functioned.
essentially you unsheathed her Excalibur with your Excalibur. Who's done that? How many
So wait,
people can
I
say
you
that?
think I've sent I,
Yes.
in your this is the version I've sent her down this path.
Yes, you did.
Okay, as the first and most memorable to trudge there,
That was her
to
first? Are you
trudge.
sure? Are you
Yeah,
sure? How do you know?
I don't. Do we need to
Oh,
get? Do we need to cover this? Do we need to get that deep
graphic.
into it? Come on.
Well, maybe you did
It
get that
doesn't
deep.
matter. It doesn't matter. In fact, I
Wait,
want to
here's
move past all of this now, and I
no, no, no,
almost
no, no,
regret telling you completely.
no, no, no. This is
Now I'm
beautiful.
starting to blush. All right, it's getting too
It's
real.
a beautiful moment. Here's the thing. She could have done, if that's the first, that could have been anybody. Could have been anybody. But
Sure.
it was you. Sure. And it was outside, right? That's beautiful. It's
Uh-huh.
beautiful. It was corporate adjacent, side. It wasn't anonymous. It wasn't yearned for. It wasn't orchestrated. Just did it. And you didn't completely cast aside. Everything's great. Things are okay. It's wonderful. And she goes on this path. She's like one or two. Well, there's one or two possibilities here. Okay. The first possibility, I don't think this is actually what happens. But she's like, oh man, if I could just go back, I'll never get better. Maybe I should be a swinger then. The second is you're just like, well, that was fun. That was great. You know what? I like doing that. I'm gonna keep going back to that. Well, sometimes it'll be better than that because again, we were young and there was a outdoors and it's not going to be good if you don't have passion behind it and knowledge or skill or anything or goodness. And but she's going to be like, I want more of this in my life. This is the path I'm choosing. Okay, I'll get married, have kids. Oh, I don't care about that. I need donkey dick. I need donkey dick at Ramada Inns. I need donkey dick at Red Roof, please. I need donkey dick wherever I can get it. Boop, 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 boop. And that's more of a coincidental situation where you are a coincidental Excalibur for a rude sexual awakening unleashed upon the world. It's great. That's great. Most people are like, oh, I had somebody and we didn't really get that close, and then they're dead. Or, I had somebody and they became a lesbian. Like, oh, they had somebody and they decided their gender wasn't what they aligned with at that time that they chose to let themselves inside of me, and that made me feel a little bit about that, but also proud of them. A lot of stories like that I've heard from friends or myself. But you were like, you had a nickname for your virginity. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
congrats.
And the
Congratulations. I really feel that for
the
you.
and
Really
the
nice.
times that followed,
Yeah,
yeah, there was a moment,
yeah. Yeah.
did you just make donkey
Okay.
noise? That was good.
Yeah, man, it's pretty good, right? It's
Yeah,
really
again,
that's great.
it was a surreal experience. And that was
Can I tell you? Yeah.
I saved sharing that little nugget with the car ride home until we were in the Taco Bell line. I was like, "Hey, interesting thing happened to me tonight." Hold on, let me place the order
Me?
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Oh, so you're. I feel like your 20th reunion is just like a natural progression of my. It was like fifth or sixth. I think we missed a fifth, and we're like sixth party. What?
Yeah. That's what we
And
did too.
you did too
Hmm.
for the sixth.
Yeah.
Same high school, same vibes, huh?
Yeah.
So I remember staying up till like honestly 6, 7 a.m. at least 8 because my friend, you knew her, that had the boyfriend that in high school that was insane. That went to pissing in the radiators and stuff.
Sure.
Anyways, I was still in touch with her after school and stuff, college. And I went
Oh,
to the
college? I went to college. You're gonna tell a college story? Tell me about life in the
no, it's not a
dorms.
college
Tell me
story.
all
Oh,
about
you're
life in the
rapt.
dorms,
Attention.
Andy. Oh, tell me all
Big
about
donkey
it.
dick.
This
All
one
right.
time in the dorm. You can't call me that.
It's so
Listen,
funny to say
it dies today, all right?
I can call you that. It's not an insult. Who gets insulted by a donkey dick? Unless someone doesn't know that donkeys have dicks that are decently sized compared to their bodies. And this their core functionality involves their dick. It's
Again,
great.
and I just need to restate, it's wholly unfunctioning now. It's with the
Yeah, exactly. You're like
vasoconstrictor, it's limited blood flow.
vasoconstrictor.
Isn't that what the ADHD medication is? It's like taking Sudafed. Let me get the right word here.
Not mine. Not the
Yeah,
shit that you take, man.
vasoconstriction, narrowing of
I
blood
have
vessels,
boners in
which
my sleep
slows.
all the time, dude.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't get a
Older
boner.
than you.
Listen,
I have the same condition that you, and I take something different. Maybe I should take what I take for my
yeah,
dick,
again, it's not.
which is nothing.
The function is the same. It's the time in between. If at a resting state, if this were a video experience for those and not an audio experience, you'd see what I'm doing with my fingers. Standard resting rate, right? And then
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
medication, standard resting rate. Just a bit smaller. That's all. It's just those days I look down to pee and go, what is this?
So you
This is
became a
not an
grower and not a shower.
accurate reflection of my. Yeah, yeah. That's
Only look in the. You know what the thing to do is only look in the mirror. Because then you look down and you're like, "That's not that impressive." But you
well,
look
I'm
in the
so
mirror, you're
tall.
like,
I have such a long torso. No, again,
yeah, you're like, oh,
this does not matter, and
angle, the angle in which you consume your
it's
own
just
dick.
how poorly I satisfy my wife. That's all. That's what I want the audience to
But you
know.
satisfied
I'm not
somebody
good at it.
once.
No, I don't think I ever did.
No, it's just that
No,
she
no,
was
I
just
don't
talking
think
about
so.
the physical, like,
I don't know. It's insane to me. It's really insane.
is it like a big North Korean missile that just doesn't go anywhere? But you're like,
It's that must
someone
be
made
what it
that.
is. But
Some type of
if
god made that.
if he could put the work in, if he knew what he
If
was
you would only
doing,
put the work in and keep trying, keep flying that shit, keep
boy,
flying.
it was.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, again, it was a weird moment in
So,
time that
so when
I
I end up with a guy on cocaine, 1-on-1 at this point, the last person up, but I don't trust. I don't know. I was too drunk to be like, hey, let me go wake up my friend who's staying here. I don't trust these guys because everyone was on coke the last couple hours. So I'm like, I should be a good friend and not just split
Mhm.
and I don't know, drunk drive somewhere. So I was like, this is way before. So I was like, oh, and I wouldn't have had any money anyways. And so I was like, I should stay until everyone's up? Question mark. And this guy is like, let me tell you something, man. I went to the Redskins game, and I want to so help me God, if I'm at a game and someone talks shit to me, another fan, I'm gonna throw him down on the field to kill him. I was like, oh, and he's bleeding. He's got a little, just the tip of nose, just a little bit. And I was like, is this what cocaine is like? I don't think I'd ever seen anyone on coke like legitimately because it was a little bit at MSU, but it was like no one
At
was really
college, there's a
doing.
little bit of college.
You couldn't tell because everyone's fucking maniac anyway. So I was, and I'm not paying attention to people's cadences at that point. But I was like, oh yeah, man, yeah, I know what you mean. You want to watch your team? He's like, yeah, man, yeah, you don't want to do more coke. And then he's like, hey, what are you doing right now? I was like, fucking, I was like, I'm stuck here with you, man. We weren't friends. We didn't know each other. We knew of each other because we had the last names have the same letters. The only thing that we have in common at all.
Sure.
You're at your parents' house. I live in my parents' house. You're having an after party for you. That's somehow lamer. So yes, continue, sir. Coke monster. And he's like, that man begins. I was like, okay. What about it? He's like, have you seen these DVD extras, dude? Like what? I was like, let's fucking watch these fucking DVD extras. You want to drink more? You want some Coke? I was like, no, yes to the first. I will say no to the second. I need to stay awake for the I'll drink.
All
Drink.
right.
Let's
So,
show me this. Show me
so,
these.
so,
Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
speaking as a person who has done coke, it
Mhm.
one long night of coke, and then that was almost immediately after I
Enough.
was like, enough's enough. This is where I gotta draw the line, and then I quit.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
I was hanging out with this Russian dude, and he's had some coke, and I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a shot, boy. But listen, you get your face goes numb, you feel fantastic, and
Yeah.
absolutely everything is the fucking best idea. And there's an urgency to the moment. And so for about
Including
20
killing
minutes,
people. Yeah.
whatever it is, right? You want to watch the DVD extras of Batman Begins, that's the best.
You
And it's
have
gonna
to.
blow
Have to.
your mind. It's life affirming, it's life changing, it's the greatest thing of all time, and
I
you have to
don't
share it.
know to do
And
this.
then it's about after 20 minutes, there's like it starts to go down. So then you do a little bump and you get back up, and it's a
Yeah.
wild ride.
And the guy that gave him the drugs was from another school. Why is he there? Why is he
Cause
there at the after
cause
party?
cause he has the drugs.
It's like
And that,
still continues. Like, oh, we got the drugs from the school that starts with an L. Well, that
yeah,
guy. And he's
they
like
had
this
better drugs.
CIA adjacent school guy had better drugs. And it's like, okay, okay. But it was like, I felt like I was trying to do something good by prevent something possibly happening. But I was like, at the end of the day, like,
But to who
should
you
I have
were
just done
trying
the
you're
coke?
gonna get them to stop doing drugs, or you didn't
No,
want
no,
to do
no, no.
drugs?
I was worried about something happening to my friend who went to bed early drunk. Like, and I was like,
Oh.
oh, I guess we're stuck here because I think she drove or something. So I was like, should do I have to stay up? Is that the right thing? And I was just like,
Why?
or do we believe in personal responsibility? I don't know because I was young. I didn't know. And so I just
Were you
one
kind
on
of
one
trying
with
to
this
have sex
guy.
with her?
No,
Oh.
quite the opposite. She was a couple times in the past trying to do that. I mean, she had the crazy boyfriend in high school. I did
Oh,
not want
okay.
to do anything because I was first off very awkward, anxious person. Second, not into it. Three, he's a psycho. He was
Sure.
crazy. He was crazier
Sure.
than this coke guy for sure. Like deciding that you're going to do be a blood brother with somebody,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah, that
also in
guy.
the same month span, peeing in radiators of cars, popping hoods and just pissing,
Well, sometimes you
and
gotta
not.
go, you know?
But it's not a stick and move. It was just like, oh, I'm just gonna like do this, and we get back in the car and drink more, eat donuts and Funyuns, and miss our objective the next morning. The guy was crazy, crazy. He and I got a noise complaint by ourselves, multiple noise complaints at a hotel room at New Year's. 19 years old, scraped 2001 on the fucking the wall with like, or sprayed it with the silly string. And then the next day, I was like, "Oh, that was dumb." And I'm scraping it off, and I hear from when we get our bill, somehow no upcharge, but it was like, "You guys had 8 noise complaints in 3 hours." I was like, "You gotta stop partying and you come here." I was like, "Oh, what?" I was like, there were two of us that were doing anything. One was asleep, same person asleep again, and the other guy was just kind of a null. He was just around, but it was mostly two people. Like these are the moves I tried to avoid in my life, and you embrace. I think you did a better job in high school of embracing such
Of
things.
living in the moment. Is that what you're saying? I embraced it. I embraced the drugs and the sex.
You
The drug and
embraced
the
it, dude.
sex. It was fine. It
The
was fine.
drugs and
It was fine.
sex.
We can move past high school. The
2003.
reunion's done. It happened.
Dreams, horrible dreams.
Oh yeah, you want to share your dream?
Yeah. So
I don't know.
it's funny
Wait, does it
because
have me in it? Because otherwise, I don't care.
you
No, go
might
ahead.
have.
Go
I
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
do
Talk
know
about it.
it's like the best of like the only ones I remember. I mean, I was like really severely ill in these things, like mentally, and it's like I'm tapering off the medication, and I was like, oh, it's only been like 2, 3 days. No wonder.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is fun, and it's like I remember this thing from before. Like once in a while, you just be like, rah. It's like one time there was an Always Sunny episode of my dream, but it was just like really blood and murder heavy. And I was like, why am I sort of dreaming about a thing that's kind of a thing, and then this I'm putting this dark spell on. I can't. I mean, you're trapped. You're like it's like sleep paralysis almost when you're like. And I wake up and it's like 1 hour's gone by. I feel like I've been in this dream for like 9 hours. And I wake up, it's like 2:30. I was like, I've been asleep for 40 minutes. And then I don't remember much except I was really in a dark place. There was some blood, probably. There was like medicine. I'm drinking too, or I want to drink, or I felt drunk, or I felt hungover. But the coup de grace, this was like sleeping on the couch or the bed at this point. I moved a couple times because I was like, I don't want to wake anyone up. Not even no dog even should witness this. This is a dark place, right? I'm like, I know it's not my fault. I know it's not from whatever I'm going through. It's just like a little tweak. A tweak has been made. So there my brain's like, oh yeah, I'll see this and I'll raise you this. And it was essentially a Disney character that's not really a Disney character was being executed. And that was the end of my dream sequences. And it
Which
was like
Disney character?
Scarlett
Oh,
Johansson with the nose ring was like somebody that was like a Scarlett Johansson
that's
type
not
of
bad.
character from a movie. No, but she was just like, yeah, there's like there's nothing you can do. And then it was just like I was trying to go back in time to stop all these bad things from happening in these dreams. And it was just like, yeah, but you can watch. And I couldn't stop like the dream, and they were just gonna take it was like a Beauty and the Beast type of trial. There was singing, and they were like this one guy was just like, oh, didn't get executed. Didn't say anything. He was just sad. Like his face was like melting. And then I woke up.
That's
And
weird.
then I had a meeting. I had a fucking work meeting that I didn't need. And it lasted like 30 minutes. Don't remember. I was just like, my reward for this is I get to maybe watch the Bears. No, I'm punting on that.
Wow.
Of course they lost. They're terrible sports ball, but I was like, I mean, if that's the most favorable of your dreams for an evening, do you just take the L the next day entirely?
What, and not sleep? Is that what you're saying? Or is it like the
No,
days
no.
of luck? Well, did you not wake
Is
up
it
with that feeling? Like I said, the drinking dream feeling where you wake up and you're like, oh shit, it was just a dream. Oh,
no,
my
there's
life
no
is still my
relief
life.
because no, I've
Oh,
changed my medication. Like I didn't get to fuck Meryl Streep in my dream and have ghost balls and like they're fine. I'm still have like my fluids in them. I could use that as motivation.
hey,
You could do that.
this donkey can go again and again. All right, jot that down.
You're like in Ghost World and you have a donkey. That's a fuck Meryl Streep was a really hard dream for me. Yeah. Did a Disney character get executed in your dream?
It was a
A
difficult dream. All
non-existent.
right, I woke up and I was very sad that I lost it all. All right, it's not my beautiful
You.
house. It's not my beautiful wife.
Oh, oh, I see what
It
you
was
mean.
lost. Yeah.
In the dream, you thought you lost it. When you woke
Yeah,
up, you knew.
in the dream, I picked Meryl Streep against the real.
Wait,
Like it was me. It
you
was
got to
me.
choose. Choose. You
I
had
no.
Sophie's choice.
I-
It was a movie.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was real Sophie's choice. My
I
baby,
didn't have any.
take my baby.
Take my baby. I'm like,
Uh,
I was just like, are they gonna kill this creature? I have to watch. Are you gonna take my eyes open? And the best part is that I get to run it back tonight. Yeah, put roll the ball back out there. Who knows what happens? I have a nice day off tomorrow for the veterans. Thank you, veterans. I'm gonna wake up terrified again, probably multiple times. What is my strategy to get outside of this hell for the next few days? What do you think? I don't have to wake up early any of these days, none of them, but but I'm combated with titration of a medication. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's you don't really know. I googled a little bit, but I was too like tired, so I didn't process anything. Do you recommend I just don't even Google it?
Don't
Should I
Google it.
bang
You're
it?
a man. You're gonna have prostate cancer. Any symptoms are just like, oh yeah, you're prostate cancer. You need to check your butthole.
I need to get mine
Someone's
checked,
got to
man.
look at your butthole. That's anytime I Google anything, it's just
If
talking about
you're on
look
the
at your poop.
HMO, can you pick your doctor by hand size or finger width? I want a visceral experience from this. I want I want him to leave his ring on. I hope he has many rings. I hope he's some like Armenian guy with a lot of rings. You
Yeah,
know,
that he leaves on just to get the
they want
particles
him to
in the.
leave on over the gloves though.
Sure.
He's like, yo, I have gloves. Like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. I want it sanitary but painful. I
Hmm.
want visceral but still completely objective, right?
You want to feel something.
I'm going there to feel something. I'm not going. It's a Schrodinger's diagnosis of either I'm clean or I'm not. Right? That's irrelevant to me. What is relevant to me is that I have to feel it. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we put you the tube in, the cameras. First off, I want the video. I want it posted online. Second, I don't want to take anything. I want to be awake.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel everything. Is there anything you can take that gives me more awareness, more feeling? And they're like, we do think you're crazy. However, we do have an RC Cola machine. Would you like
Perfect.
to
Yeah,
purchase some RC
you want to
Cola?
be sober for this enema
Not sober,
with the
agitated.
stink fist. Um,
Stink.
Schism. I'm just trying to list off Tool songs. I'm trying to bring it.
That's what you were looking up.
I'm
I
trying
thought
to
you were
make
like
a
looking up
perfect circle.
as a perfect circle of Tool references. And oh my God, dude. Yeah, but I really want that full experience. It's like, oh, there's a camera. Like, yes, there is. There goddamn better be a camera. And
Mm-hmm.
in fact, anytime you're in my ass for any purposes, there should be a camera.
Yeah.
Like, look, I need to be relevant. Okay. I don't need to be liked. I don't need to be loved. I won't be feared. I will be seen. Okay. So put it up there, show it to me, let me post it, let me monetize it. Obviously, I'm very poor and I'm going to be one of those people outside earlier this evening. The poors are fighting, and I realized for the first time, like, I haven't done a ton of apartment living. And that's really the first time I've heard people shouting, like arguing, having the discourse of the poor, and it really bothered me. How do people do it? If you're poor and you have, please tell me how I can do better. You can send a message to me directly at degeneratenation@gmail.com, because I'm strapped in for the long haul. I'm saving up my pennies for that prostate exam. Raw, visceral, urgent. Okay, saving it up, laying down on the table, got the cam on, ready to monetize. Because God knows we'll make more better than this. Make more money than this show. Dollar, a dollar.
We're up to a
Let's
dollar.
go. Dollar's gonna make me holler. I'm gonna either have it or not have it. Big C, big B. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. It's going right up. It's going right out for the airwaves. I'm gonna love it. You're gonna be there.
I'm gonna be there.
Give me that Arsicola enema. While the other, can you have two enemas at
Are
once?
you still you're still talking about this butt thing? You're on a. I didn't want to stop you. You're on a roll. I thought you were building
Yeah,
towards
yeah, yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Are you still
Talking about
building? Should
that.
I stop? Go ahead. Keep on your roll. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be there for your
let's finish
enema,
strong.
double
I'm gonna
enema,
finish strong.
RC
Yeah, I'm
cola.
just curious, like maybe an IV of RC Cola, because you don't want to mess up with the actual. Again,
RC cola
actual,
is the official beverage choice of the Degenerate Nation podcast.
and it's also the official beverage choice of prostate exams
And
of
believe it or
cola
not, the New Testament.
and the New Testament. It is. You can turn it into wine, the water. Well, why not turn the wine into RC Cola and pour it on yourself while you get that sweet, sweet host?
I mean, what do you think the
The
RC
host
stands
is
for? It's
we're
really
the host.
Christ.
We're the show with the least for the host with the most. Wash it down with some RC. Fire us up any of our back episode, future episodes. And, eventually AI is going to listen to us in the Suicide Pod, and you're still going to make how many dollars?
One.
Bye.